Accra House of Folk are champions of the Ghana Premier League and will have the opportunity to make it double when they host Ashanti Gold at the Accra Sports Stadium for the MTN FA Cup final. But do the Phobians stand a chance in Africa? Let me hear from you in the comment section, and also recommend the players you would like the Phobians to sign as they begin preparations to beef up their squad. My name is Joel Leshent, and this is the Ghana Web Fridays debate right here on Ghana Web TV.
House of Folk are champions of the just ended Ghana Premier League, and they are going to Africa. Now the question is the squad enough to go into Africa? And yes, it is not enough. They need to beef it up. I'm going to look at two departments as quick as possible that they need to beef it up. The first one is the attacking midfield, and the second one is the striking department, that is the center forward. The first one, they brought in Salifu Ibrahim from 11 Wonders in a just ended league where they were operating as a typical number 10, a register. But we know for sure that Salifu Ibrahim operates from the right wing, where he will cut in and using his left foot to get an angle and strike the ball to the post. Bringing him as a number 10, because there was no creative player over there, helped them a little bit. But how can we get the best out of Salifu Ibrahim is the question to be answered here. So you can bring in an attacking player, that's in the person of Glass Nawako or Shambokwe from Olympics. These players are good, they are creative players, and they are typical number 10 players, so you can get use of them. The attacking wise, we have what we call Kwame Pipra or Glass Diawsi Taylor. Kwame Pipra or Diawsi Taylor of Karela and Kifaisa respectively. These two players have shown it wisely that when it comes to goals, they know how to score. Now you have, somebody may say they have a free Ebanye over there. Yes, a free Ebanye is there, but looking at rumors circulating this guy recently that he might leave, he has an offer on the table. Looking at the financial status of House of Folk, if there's a good bid that comes on the table, they'll be tempted to let him go. And when your player is leaving, who are you bringing in to come and fill in the gap? So now having Diawsi Taylor or Kwame Pipra in it will give in the best and also make sure the team is solid. Now let's look at something. Africa is a team, it's a competition altogether where the tenacity of the league is very high. So people may argue that why don't you use the same players that you used to qualify to play there? Yes, if you use the same players, the tenacity or the telepathy of the players will be there because they played for a long period of time. But the question is, can they stand the heat? Can they stand the pressure of that competition? Now, bringing those same players, there is a different level altogether. Most of the clubs are making signings to aim at a better height. So I personally think House of Folk have to beef up the squad and make some signings.
Accra House of Folk has won the league, and the fans have gone gaga. The fans have gone crazy. The fans have got so much happiness and joy in their hearts because they've not won the league for about 11 years. But now they've done it. And now in the chase for the double, which is to win the FA Cup final, which will be played on Sunday. Now, the question remained very obsolete, and the question is that will Samuel Boadu be able to help the Accra House of Folk team triumph over Africa, that is to win the African Champions League? I kind of think it is not far from reach or out of fetch, because I know Samuel Boadu is one capable man who will be able to help the team to achieve that. You watch his tactics, his kind of play, and the telepathy among the players, and the kind of bond he has formed with the players is very much, mind-boggling. You realize that he's been able to put his hands on the team, and you can see the thumbprint of Samuel Boadu on the team. He came in, knew the kind of players he wanted, brought in Salifu, brought in Kaliba Mankwa and all of that, and he has been able to win the trophy. Now in Africa, I believe he will be able to sign some few players to help make the team up. I kind of think that too much players would not be appropriate for Accra, but if you are able to sign about 2 or 3 players or 4, it will be able to help the team become stronger. I'm looking at Glass Nawako, I'm looking at Enoch Subontin, I'm looking at Yadom, I'm looking at Yadom Kunedu and then also Diawusi Taylor. I kind of think that in the midfield, if Accra Suffolk have if Accra Suffolk should have Glasson Awaku, it will help them a lot, because Awaku is a kind of player who have played in African Champions League before. He has played for TP Manzimbi and he knows the terrain and how these people play. So he'll be able to mash out the midfield and help them to be able to amass more wins upon wins. I'm looking at Diawusi Taylor, a very prolific striker, the goal king of the just ended league. It would be very much appropriate to bring in such a goal poacher to bring you or be giving you goals week in and week out. Looking at Enoch Subonting, especially the last game they played against Accra Hearts of Oak at the Sogakope Park, he was fabulous. I mean, he did everything right. The guy was electrifying and amazing. If you could be replicating that, if you join Accra Hearts of Oak, it will be blistering fire for Accra Hearts of Oak. And then I think that having one defender to help the defense or to help things settle in the defense will be Yadom Kunedu, a very good guy who is very good when it comes to holding play and making connections. So I kind of think that if Accra Suffolk is able to get all these kind of players within the time frame of Africa, it will help them amass the trophy and they will be African champions.
Well, can Hearts of Oak conquer Africa with Samuel Boadu? I think it's going to be a very challenging one for them, because they've been off the continent for a very long time, and Samuel Boadu really hasn't been on that terrain before. He has no experience on the African continent. As far as he's concerned, his experience is in the domestic terrain, and he's proven to be an exceptional coach as far as the domestic terrain is concerned. How are they going to fare on Africa? It's a very dicey one, really. I'm very sure that Hearts of Oak, in their own estimations, they know that they're really not going to Africa to win the trophy. They're going to there to ensure that they do really well and possibly get as close as they possibly can to the trophy, because to play in the Champions League, you ought to be able to beat the likes of Esperance, the likes of Al Ahly, the big guns in the game at the moment. And clearly the big gun in the game at the moment is Al Ahly, and they have won it 10 times, and they definitely do not look like a team that is ready to give up the title anytime soon. So Hearts of Oak, I expect them to do very well on the continent with Samuel Boadu. I expect him to be able to deliver and be able to revive the name of Hearts of Oak on the African continent. As far as winning the title is concerned, it's too big of a task for him, and I don't think he will be able to achieve it. Definitely, for them to be able to do that, they need to beef up their squad, and players like Gladson Awako are players with grave experience, and there's been reports of him moving to Accra Hearts of Oak, and I think Hearts of Oak need to do all they can to make sure they get Gladson Awako, because he's definitely going to help them a lot. A lot of these Hearts of Oak players, Afia Barnier, apart from his stints with under 20, the likes of Salifu Ibrahim, Efutu, they all really do not have the experience on the African continent. So you expect somebody like Gladson Awako to be able to bring that experience on bear and help them to be able to make a mark. I mean, the likes of Diawusi Taylor is another player that we understand he's on the radar of Hearts of Oak, and we expect them to equally make that move and get him. He's been scoring goals, and you expect him to be able to do that for them even in the African continent. So as far as improving their depth of players is concerned, it is non-negotiable. They got to do it. Awako, they have to get him. They have to get Diawusi Taylor, and even Felix Annan of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. If they can get him as a second choice goalkeeper, it's going to really help them.
Well, if you ask me whether Samuel Boadu can deliver in Africa or conquer Africa, that's very huge, and that will be a huge achievement for Samuel Boadu. But I think we have to slow down for the young man. He's done very well with this Hearts of Oak team, taking the team midway through the season and winning the Ghana Premier League. I think he's done very well. But to conquer Africa, we have to slow down for Samuel Boadu. Yes, tactically he's very good. He's the best that we have in the country, and Hearts of Oak will be going to the Champions League with the best coach in Ghana right now. But he's very young, and although we all want him to succeed, with Hearts of Oak in the CAF Champions League, but we have to slow down. The Hearts of Oak supporters, they have to slow down on him. They have to lower their expectation, so it will ease some pressure off Samuel Boadu's shoulder, so he can tax himself to achieve that feat for Hearts of Oak in Africa. So we can only hope, but we shouldn't push him to that limit. I mean, Hearts of Oak are just returning to the Champions League in a long time now, for a long time. They are just returning, so you just have to lower your expectation and help the young man deliver. Now, on which players I would recommend the team to sign. I think the only position I would recommend a player for Hearts of Oak will be the number 9 role. Kojo Obin Jr. has been very good, scoring 10 goals without penalty. I think he's been very good. He's been phenomenal for Hearts of Oak. He played a key role into the team, ending their long trophy drought. So having Kojo Obin Jr. it's okay, but you are going to Africa. You need a squad depth to go far in the competition. So you look at his backup, Victor Boadu. He scored 7 goals but 3 penalties. So you can't really count on him. So I think Kwame Pepra will be a good addition to the team. Looking at Kwame Pepra's numbers for Kim Pfizer, the goals and assists, I think he did very well for Kim Pfizer, and he will be a good signing for Hearts of Oak. To the midfield, I think Hearts of Oak's midfield is already choked. You can mention a lot of players who will start and will deliver.
Congratulate Accra Hearts of Oak for winning the Ghana Premier League. I mean, they've done really well. They are also into the MTN FA Cup Finals, which comes off this Sunday at the Accra Sports Stadium. Now, after the MTN FA Cup Finals, I think their focus is going to be on the CAF Champions League. Yeah, going into the CAF Champions League, they are going to compete with the likes of Zamalek, Al Ahly and Co. And I think they need 1 or 2 players to be able to do that. They need a striker like D.O.C. Taylor who will finish off chances for them, because this House of Oak team, they are always creating chances. And Obin Jr., even though he is the top scorer for Accra House of Oak, but I don't think going to Africa, he will be able to. He's the right man to lead Accra House of Oak. No, D.O.C. Taylor, I think, have the courage to do that. He has been able to prove that he's a top striker. He scored 18 goals this season in the Ghana Premier League. So I think D.O.C. Taylor will be the right choice for Accra House of Oak. Talks are also in progress to bring in Glassen Awako. He is a very experienced player who can add value to this Accra House of Oak team. Enoch Esubontin, I understand, is also undergoing his medicals today at Accra House of Oak, so that he will sign for the team. He's also a very good player, just 20 years of age. He can create chances out of nothing. So I think when they are able to get these players, they'll be able to do something in Africa, because looking at their coach, he's done well for this team. He came mid-season, but yes, he has been able to turn things around for Accra House of Oak. So I think what the management need to do now is to support the players, motivate them, and then give them whatever they want. And once they are able to do that, the players will also give their all to the team, because these players are determined to do something for Accra House of Oak. They want to make history for themselves. So I think with this kind of signings they are doing, and then with support from management, they will be able to bring the cup home.
Well, with the conquering of Africa, it depends. If it's about the CAF Champions League, I believe that will be very, very Herculean for a very inexperienced House of Oak team. Well, despite Samuel Boadu conquering the Ghana Premier League, I think that he also has the inexperience in terms of coaching on the African terrain and amassing lots of experience. He's going to face huge opposition in the Champions League. The likes of Nadia Al Ahly, the defending champions, are miles ahead of Hearts of Oak in terms of quality, budgets, and all that. I think other teams like the Esperances, the Wydad Casablancas, the TP Mazembes, the Mamelodi Sundowns have all, over the years, gathered so much experience with House of Oak at the moment, after that 10-year drought, have not done in recent times. I also believe that when it comes to the CAF Champions League, the players that House of Oak will be using are very inexperienced. So to conquer the CAF Champions League may be quite difficult for House of Oak. But I think that when it comes to the CAF Confederations Cup, should they drop out of the CAF Champions League, that should be something that they can navigate their way and potentially get to the grand finale. And I think that's a very, very good or reasonable target that the team can easily get to. Now, looking at the signings that they should be able to get into their team, yes, they are already looking at Glasson Awako for Cargo Olympics, which I think is a very good player to have in your team as well. I also believe that the choice of going for Enoch Asobontain of Wafa is also a very good one. He brings so much attacking threat from the wings.
My brother, if you ask me whether or not House of Oak can conquer Africa with Samuel Boadu, what I'm going to say is that for me, it will be very, very difficult, extremely difficult for any Ghanaian club to conquer Africa in the next 10, years ahead of us. It's not just House of Oak, but generally all our clubs. You look at our current situation that we find ourselves in now, compared to that of, our brothers from the other parts of the continent. You could clearly see there's a vast difference between us. And one of the reasons being finance. In terms of finances, we are not up there. We don't have that financial muscle to wrestle with teams like El Ali, the Orlando Pirates, the Mamelodi Sundowns, and the likes. We don't have that financial strength to fight with them. And you can clearly see, right after our league, yes, the just ended league, some of the players that, performed very well in the league, most of them, they are leaving. Why? Why are they going? They are leaving because there's no money in the system. Man must survive. They need money to take care of themselves, so they need to go. And that is the problem that we are facing right now. I heard Rashid Mohammed, he will be going to Free State Stars in South Africa, a Division 1 team in South Africa, a top player in Ghana going to Division 1 team in South Africa. It clearly tells you where we are right now. So clearly, you could tell from, our situation that we don't have that financial muscle. Kotoko selling their best player in the middle of the season to a North African side, Kwampuku, tells you everything. So for me, we are not up there. Even in terms of quality, the quality of our players right now, it's not that they don't know how to play football or something like that, but they are not allowed to mature in the system. The ones that, if you have one fantastic season, the next minute, he's on the next available flight, traveling outside. So that is, a problem for Ghana football. So it will be very difficult for any Ghanaian club to conquer Africa. But for this House of Oak team, it's a team that I have a lot of confidence in, because the team has got huge prospects. Given the right, environment, the right guidance, with the right investment, they can perform. They can go places. But as it stands now, they are not ready to conquer Africa. It's a gradual process that they must believe in. You see, they need to, augment the squad by adding some more experience to the team, but not necessarily going into the market to make wholesale changes within the team. By adding some more experience to the team, but not necessarily going into the market to make wholesale changes within the team. Because if you look at the team, especially their defense, midfield, they are a good side. The goalkeeping area, I think that they need one solid goalkeeper to come and compete. Richard Atta, he needs that competition so that he will his best will come out, because we all saw him when he was at Elmina Sharks. He was a very, very good goalkeeper, but it seems now he's been complacent, so he's not. He needs competition. They need to bring someone to come and compete him. And you look at their right backs, solid. You have two quality right backs in Fatau Mohammed, their captain. You have Larry Sumaila complementing him, solid. William Denji, solid player. All those who saw him at Liberty Professionals will attest to the fact that he's a very, very good player. Then you take someone like Radi Ovuka, who is, proving himself. The Congolese national team now is a member of that team. So it tells you the kind of level that they have in terms of their laterals. Come to the central defense, Robert Adusowa and then Mohamed Al Hassan. They have proven that, yes, it's a reliable pair that they can rely on going forward. You have a backup in experienced Nurusule. You have someone who can play across the back line, including the defensive method in Caliber Mankwa. So defensively, they are sorted. In central midfield, they have a lot of quality in abundance. You've got someone like Nuruddin Al Hassan, who got injured along the line. They have Frederick Ansabotwe, the Emmanuel Nete, Manaf Uma, a lot of them, Amani Lawali, a lot of players in terms of the central midfield. Where I think they need, someone to come in is the defensive midfield, someone who will complement Benjamin Efutu in his absence, someone who can just step up and do that job for them in the middle of the park. And then you need someone in attack, someone to lead the lines for you, because someone like Kojo Abin Jr., you can't rely on him so much. He's a very good player, a prospect coming up. He needs someone to support him in attack. So in their attack, they need a striker who can, put the balls at the back of the net for them. You get someone who have that creative spark, who can play across the, forward line. So if you get someone like Glasson Awako to come in, his experience and everything will help. So in the absence of someone like Salifu Ibrahim, he can step up and do the job for Accra House of Folk.
Accra House of Folk, with their experienced coach Samuel Boadu, can be able to conquer Africa. Samuel Boadu has brought a lot of enthusiasm and tactics formation in the current team of Accra House of Folk. We all know the previous team of Accra House of Folk. It became very difficult for them to qualify to Africa. But when Samuel Boadu came into Accra House of Folk, he was able to transform the team. Now Accra House of Folk can boast of qualityness of players, good materials, and they can be able to face Africa. When we even talk of history even favors House of Folk to conquer Africa. Don't forget, they've ever won the Champions League before. And the last time they even won the Africa Trophy was way back 2005, when they played competition final against the Arabas Kumasi Asante Kotoko in Papayala Sports Stadium during the penalty shootout. With the last of their skipper on the side,
Well, you've heard the contributions of others. Let me also hear from you in the comment section. Can Accra House of Folk conquer Africa and restore the glory of Ghana in the Champions League with Samuel Boadu? Which players will you also recommend for them as they begin to beef up their squad ahead of the next football season? My name is Joel Oshan, and this has been another episode of the Ghana Web Fridays debate right here on Ghana Web TV. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel, like the video, and comment. Until we meet again, you know how we do it here. It is bye for now.